Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another Mixed Media Mayhem layout for you guys today, and I'm also playing along with Baby Got Scraps. So today we are lifting another Missy Widden layout, and I actually did this layout pretty much to the T, except for the fact that I am not a watercolor wizard like she is. So I have two photos of my daughter getting her haircut, and these are the papers that I picked out from my stash. So these three pieces are from Pretty Little Studio. I believe the Grateful Heart collection. And then this piece right here, or these two pieces, are from Close to My Heart. And I plan on using the purple piece. I also have a piece of Vicky Booten Mixed Media Foundation paper, I think is what it's called. I'm also going to use this thicker set. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the word refresh. I think I end up changing that and using something different. But I am going to use a couple shimmers on this. I've got Crow's Feet in Creamies, Thunderstorm in Creamies, and Spiced Cider in Blings. And whoops, I just wanted to flip it over to show you guys that it's a little bit on the purpley side. So I'm looking forward to using that, but I also kind of wanted to use something else. I also have the Spritz in Granny Gray, but I don't end up using it in the manner that I expected to. I also have some purple sprays. Now I'm showing you guys all of the purple sprays that I currently own. I say currently because it changes on a daily basis. I have a lot of Distress Oxide sprays because I have the whole collection, you guys. I'm obsessed with the Distress line. And so I have all the inks and all the sprays within inks and oxides. I don't do the embossing powders and things like that, but the inks and the sprays are definitely my jam. All right, so I also went into my stash and I dug super deep for these. Now these flowers were created several years ago. Some of them by me, some of them by Prima, and then of course those rolled canvas flowers, I'm not really sure, but some are just way too bulky to go on a layout. But I had them for home decor. I built some home decor items as gifts, and then this is like my leftover bin. I was just showing you guys here that these specific rolled flowers from Prima can be smushed rather thin because they are made of almost like a newsprint, so they're very flimsy. And so I'm just smushing one down for you guys to show you that it can go from about 1/2 inch to a little under a quarter, but it does get thinner. Now this stuff here, they're just way too thick. There's nothing I can do with those. Those will never make it in a scrapbook layout, but I save them for home decor. So I have my two photos and I went ahead and I trimmed them down, and I believe I end up trimming them both down to 4.5 by 3.5. I don't keep one at 4 by 6. So I'm going to cut my purple paper down. So say that 10 times fast. So that way I can have a photo mat, but then I need a bunch of strips, and I'm going to just go off of the one strip I already have and make everything about a half an inch. Now this one little geometric paper that I have from the Pretty Little Studio is smaller than 1/2 inch, or smaller than a 12 by 12 clearly. So I will have to paper piece it. So I'll cut a bunch more of those because I need one side, to fit the other side. And I'm assuming it's 6 inches long, so it'll definitely work on my layout. As long as I cover up that seam and nobody will see it. So I am flipping it because the one side had a little bit of pink on the end, and I wanted that purple. And I do revisit it. I do end up needing another strip because I didn't put my paint quite up where it needs to go. So here's where I decided I'm going to trim down that 4 by 6. Oh no, I thought I did. I'm going to glue the one first, and then after I put adhesive down, that's when I decide that I'm going to, trim it down, because that's the easiest way to cut a photo is with adhesive. And, it just never sticks to your trimmer or anything. That's like the thing to do, right? No, I'm being totally sarcastic. Don't do that, you guys. So I'm rubbing off the adhesive because it is a pill to trim a photo down with adhesive. So just to let you guys know that. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. All right, so I do end up matting my photos on this beautiful purple, and my daughter's favorite color back in the day, actually she had two. One was orange and one was purple. Now orange was because of her red hair, and then of course I don't know where purple came from. In all honesty, I have no idea. And so I definitely wanted to make a purple layout. I think actually there's a lot of layouts in my daughter's album that is purple. And why I am scrapbooking haircut photos is because we used to tease our hairstylist because I think she's only 5 foot, in all honesty. And my daughter's only 5'2", and she makes my hair, my hairstylist makes my daughter look very tall. And the fact that she needs my daughter to stand up to cut her hair, we always thought was hilarious. It's like, well, I'm going to go stand up for a haircut today, because we only get to sit down long enough to get our hair washed, and then we stand up for her to to cut our hair. And so it's always been something that we've teased our hairstylist about. Now, this has been my hairstylist since I was 17 years old. She is amazing, and I absolutely, absolutely love her to death. I would not change her for the world. In fact, when she moved away for a year, I didn't cut my hair for a year. Actually, I only get a haircut once a year anyways. But in all honesty, when she left, I was devastated trying to figure out who else I'm going to let cut my hair. Because I've been through a couple hairstylists, and they do what they want to do. They don't do what I ask them to do. And it's like, I dislike every haircut I've ever had by somebody else other than this particular hairstylist. And so it is significant to us. So I do have a lot of haircut photos from me and my eldest daughter, just because it's a thing, that we do, that stories that we tell and stuff like that. My daughter went through a phase where she didn't want her picture taken like at all. And so I've got a lot of talk to the hand photos and all that good stuff. So I went ahead and I skipped through a bunch of me ruffling up the edges of all of these paper strips and gluing them down. I did rip my paper up at the top, and that is where I realized my gap between the light, mixed media splattering and the dark mixed media splattering did not meet in the middle to meet my needs. So I just added another strip, which was easier said, it was easier than trying to manipulate my mixed media. It wouldn't have come out the way I wanted it to. Also, too, I was going to say something and now I forgot. It sounds good though. Oh, I was going to tell you which purples I finally went with, considering I had almost 7 bottles on my desk. So I went with Soft Lilac by Altenew, which is this pearlescent, very pretty soft purple, and that's the one down at the bottom. And then up at the top was actually Concord Grape? Concord, that sounds familiar, from the Oxide collection. And so I definitely liked how those turned out, but then I also took the Soft Lilac and put it over the Concord. I was going to paint my flowers in the, Seedless Preserves, because when I did some swatching of my purple, Seedless Preserve definitely matched the purples that I was playing with. Well, when I started painting my flowers, it too pink. I couldn't do it. It was coming out pink, and nope, not going to do pink. My daughter would kill me for one, and I don't think I could I don't think I could do it. I mean, I'm stumbling over my words. I'm so like anti-pink. So anyways, I wanted to paint all of these flowers so that way they were cohesive. I like the fact that they all have a different undertone, which is going to give me several different shades of flowers or several different shades of purple. I'm going to leave my 2 gray ones gray. I do like that addition of the gray. But I do end up painting the larger flowers, the 2 larger rolled flowers are painted in the Concord Grape or Dusty Concord. Is it Dusty Concord? I think it is. That sounds familiar now that I'm saying it out loud. And then all the rest of them are painted in the Soft Lilac by Altenew. So some of them have a little sparkle, some of them do not. Well, now I decided I want smaller flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and paint some of this lilac, soft lilac, onto my scratch paper that I just used to swatch all of my purples. And then I'm going to take that Granny Gray from Shimmers and spray it down as well, so I can get some gray flowers in there too, because I only have the 2 gray flowers. And I thought that it would be kind of cute if I was able to put some little tiny gray flowers going on. Now, this is not how I expected to use the gray spritz, is because of the fact that I thought I was going to, take the purple and blend it into gray, or take the purple and, blend it up into gray. And I didn't feel like in the mood to blend anything. I didn't. I just went with purples and thought, okay, well then I'll just use it to make gray little flowers. So off camera, because this took forever and a day. I mean, like, so much prep work went into making these flowers. I have this little pad from Memory Makers. It's the big green M. I just used my my ball tool over there and smushed it into this little mouse-looking pad and made my 3-dimensional flowers. Now I put 2 flowers together to make 1 flower, just to give it a little bit more bulk. And then I added a small little pearl in between each one, because that's what's in between the flowers that I already made. And then I'm taking all of those big giant green leaves that I had, and I cut them at 2 different lengths. I cut them at, they were large to begin with, so I cut them down to another large size, and then a medium, and then a small. And now I'm going to take and just change the color of these leaves a little bit, because really I wasn't supposed to add any green to this at all. What Missy Whidden did was she took the flowers in the same color as her rainbow, which I did not do a rainbow. I just did different purples. And so that's why I stuck with just the purple theme. And then, of course, they started out dark and went down light, and so that's what I did with my mixed media as well. But I don't do that with my purple, or with my flowers. I end up actually just, flower sneezing all over this whole layout. And it just became, this layout became one of those that is more type of layouts. And I just kept adding and adding and adding. It goes on and on. And as you can see in the upper left corner, I actually have swirls that came out of my pearl container. I'm never going to use them. If I don't pull them out and finally put them on a layout, I'm never going to use them. Are they my daughter? No. They are not me. They're not my daughter. They might be my littlest one. But in all honesty, the only photos I have of my little one is her playing in the dirt with the boys. Maybe when she gets older, I promise I will have some girly photos, in all honesty. And I have several of these little pearl swirls, so I'm not going to run out by the time that time comes. But right now, this is it, you guys. Photos of a girl going and getting her hair cut. It's not even getting done. It's getting just cut. That's as girly as we get at this moment in our lives. Oh my goodness. So yeah, it's the stories that I want to tell. It's the stories that I want to remember. Like I said, my daughter is only 5'2", and she makes my hairstylist makes her look tall in these photos, and that is the significance of these photos. Because we love our hairstylist. We really do. In fact, Cora comes all the way from Reno just to get her hair cut, because she hasn't found a stylist in Reno that she likes yet. So, if anybody knows anybody that will listen to what you want and not just cut what you think you need, those are the kind of stylists that we are looking for. So anyways, I decided to add the swirls. There isn't any in Missy's layout, none whatsoever. But you know what? Why not? Because I'm never going to use them. And this layout just screamed, add something, just something to help out. And so I'm going to frustrate myself with this giant one, because I couldn't remember how it was supposed to lay back down. I ripped it off the carrier sheet so fast that I just couldn't remember. So I'm going to manipulate it and twist it and turn it until I get it to how I like it, which is probably nothing to how it was supposed to look. But yeah, there it is. And I wanted the swirls to go on top of as well as underneath some of the flowers. So that could have been one of my frustrations too, is because I was trying to lay it flat down on a dimensional leaf and things like that. So I definitely like the addition of the green in this layout. I think it's a little bit too much. And I'm glad that I painted the other flowers to kind of match the I don't even know if it's rose gold or coppery color that I'm bringing in the title, and then I have another spriggy berry thing that I'm going to add as well. If I had those types of pearls, I definitely would have added those in the center of my flowers instead of the white pearls. But the white pearls were easier for me to find. Not going to lie there. I did not look very hard for any other pearls. I just knew exactly where my white ones were. And I was probably already about 4 hours into this layout. And don't get me wrong, it's a stop and go process. To be honest, it was not one of those that I sat for 4 straight hours. No. I probably only sat for about an hour. And that was when I was painting the flowers and cutting the leaves and making the things, right? But everything else in between took time because, I have a life outside of, that desk. I really do. I'm also using the tip of my scissors to help me hold these rolled flowers down. They weren't as dry as I wanted them to be, but I was getting impatient. I did take a heat gun to them and they felt dry enough to hold the adhesive, which they are, the glue, but they're not dry enough for me to put my finger down in without lifting up the ink. So I definitely was just using my my scissor tips to get real deep down in there and wait for the glue to set for a hot minute. Now I do end up ripping off the last set of leaves on all of those ones that I painted. I did not know I was going to be doing that at all. I just knew that I liked adding this color to it. Now, because of the camera angle, you really can't see that that coppery look that the spiced cider ink added to these leaves. But I do like how they end up looking. I like what they add. I had this one-off leaf that was a little bit on the bluey green side. And so I just added the crow's foot and thunderstorm to this one to give it a different look to it. I figured if it was going to stand out, it's going to stand out and make an impression for the layout. And then I'm just going to fill in a few gaps. I don't want to fill in all the gaps, but just a few with all these little microscopic flowers. I do end up putting all of them on a layout. And then I found a flare because I was showing Janet some more flare that I found. I swear, I've got flare coming out my ears, and they're just hidden all over my craft room, and I don't understand that. So I do have a flare that I'm going to add because Missy actually adds, I think, 3 to her layout. I know 2 for a fact, but I think 3 of them are on her layout. I'm only going to add 1, and then I add the title. It does end up being Be Still, because it just, to me, is... when we do things for ourselves, like a haircut or, a pedicure, manicure, anything like that, that is like for a female, in all honesty, that is like our once in a lifetime opportunity, to just be still, to just sit down and let somebody pamper us. And I know for me and my daughters, we don't do this often enough. Like I said, I get my haircut once a year. And so I don't do this as often. Cora does it a lot more often than I do because she likes to keep her hair a specific length. And this one right here, this is when she liked it long. Now she likes it a little bit shorter than this. She likes it just a little past her shoulders, and that's about it. But I thought that the title was fitting. Just because of the fact of what we are doing. I had an extra set of pearls, so I thought that I would add that in there and just no purpose whatsoever. Just, hey, slap it on the layout because, like I said, this becomes a more is more layout. Seriously. And then, oh, look, I have more of these reddy gold. I don't know what color, coppery gold, rose gold, leafy things. Let's add those on there. When am I going to add those on anything? I don't know. So let's just add them here. I did cut one in half because it was really long, and now I'm just trying to find a placement for that half, and I did have to trim it down a little bit. So there we go. I'm going to add it right there, and then the last thing I'm going to do is some white splatters because, it does look like a wedding bouquet is trying to peek out from behind my layout. I actually do like how this looks. It is very much muchiness for me. It really, really is. But I like how it looks. I like the purple because it definitely represents my daughter. I just love it. Here I'm just showing you guys the dimension of the layout because it's really not that dimensional. It looks like it sticks out about 1/2 inch, and it really does not. It's the pearls stick out more than anything. So I really like how this all came together and how it all looks. Like I said, I don't do girly layouts very often at all, and I really enjoyed doing this one. I enjoyed, following this, following the inspiration layout to a certain point and then just doing my own thing. She used little flowers. I used big flowers. She didn't use anything else. I certainly did. But I enjoyed it very, very much. So anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with Mixed Media Mayhem, as well as Baby Got Scraps. It is 2 different hops that we are kind of doing together. Some of us will be doing Baby Got Scraps and Mixed Media Mayhem, while others are just doing one or the other. So it's a big list today, and lots and lots and lots of entertainment. So anyways, thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.